That's weird.
Before they go really fucking off the wall, that they dress so cool.
Yeah, it's like a system. It's like the same way a star gets awesome before it just sinks in on
Explodes.
It's very fast.
Oh no! I need to show you a video of me doing stand-up badly because you showed one last time. And 3,
I tried to, but I was just so talented.
I know, yeah, you tried to.
Just like intangible red flag territory. Like he's not saying anything specific,
interesting.
But like just as he's talking, you're like, do not be in a room alone with this man.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, so we can all love each other. No.
All right, great. Okay, great. This is great. What about him is an intangible red flag? Is it a way he appears, way he talks, hand gestures?
Do you know what the word intangible means?
All right, I'm gonna go have a piss. Ashley, you're in charge.
I'm in charge. Bitches.
I went down on a juicy boozy, and
uh-oh, got a fart, and this chair's gonna make it reverberate. Hey, wait! Hey!
Oh no! Everybody else, hey! What's going on? I'm just waiting for music. I thought you were getting music. Oh, I thought you were just getting music.
How my penis gets born.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Here's a shed.
The ice cream cones came with a little metal packet that is just full of sugar. It's just full of sugar to be poured into the cones.
What has the Japanese not gotten a hold of, perfected, and then when everyone was like, "You did it," they went, "And now we'll begin." And you're like, No, you fixed it. It was fixed. Do not break it. They're like, no, we got to break this.
I still have some more questions.
Go ahead.
John Hastings is on America's Got Talent for 5 minutes, and now he's got houses in LA and London.
That's right.
Yeah.
You kept a house in London?
Yeah, I've kept a house in London.
Update: not sugar.
There's no fluid tasting enough to warrant sucking it out of him. No, but it was. Did he do it when he was then in the band when they were the 4 Bee Gees that brief time before then his heart exploded?
Wow.
I'm not saying anything that didn't happen. That is what happened to him.
I'm a predator.
And it was going awesome. And we even started having drinks at a bar, and we each had girlfriends with us, whatever. We're having a great time until I got comfortable enough to go, hey, we share a birthday,
As someone who's been eternally single.
Go ahead. Is it your fault? Yes. No, sorry.
Stop tweeting after your dates, Ashley. Stop tweeting after your dates.
Oh, bad news, Paul. You're getting a Batman bed.
This is not bad news. I am so pleased.
Support them.
But you know what's more important than helping people's mental health?
Fuck you, John.
I'm just saying. Tom, you're a comedy fan.
Here's what happened. So I came up after she finished a couple times.
How did you
I'm not one's not enough. You go for 2. That's how you start it out.
Smoother crunchy.
And then Jesus, boom. And so so when I emerged, I went to kiss her, and she just grabbed my face, and she sucked.
Chris, John, and Irish Ashley combine to make the ultimate team, better than any wet dream. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream. John's the CEO and boomer. Ashley's the real leader. Chris brings the vibes and juices as our enjoyment increases. Welcome to the Untitled Twitch stream.
Will we be muted is the question.
Not
Will
even
we
once.
be muted? Oh my God. Hello.
Howdy. It's good to see you guys. We've been talking for so long already.
I was still muted, but I was doing so on purpose because I'm rattling a thing. Sorry.
Are you making biscuits? You have more
No,
biscuits?
I'm taking painkillers.
The biscuit of the pharmaceutical world. Ladies and
But
gentlemen.
I do also have biscuits. These are the biscuits I was talking about.
What are those? Those look like long, thin pies.
No, they're
What a terrible phrase. Hi, time travel
Long,
agent.
thin pie. I've never seen that biscuit before in my life.
Yeah, that's insane.
It looks like an omelet.
Garibaldi
It looks like a
biscuit.
blueberry omelet.
It's really good. They're one of my favorites. My dad
Have I
calls
changed
them
my
dead
mindset
fly
up?
biscuits, which should turn me off them, but it doesn't.
Thank you, Stephen, coming in. I did have to change my mic setup. StreamYard did the classic move of just changing my audio settings, even though I was in here earlier this morning and used these exact audio settings. What a day. I've sat in front of this computer all day. I love doing the stream. I love you all. Today, I'm done with staring at this computer. I want to go out. I would show you the view, but I realize you can literally see the name of the hotel if I do that, so I'm not going to do that.
Maybe best not.
Yeah.
Someone might send you
have to stay there
flowers,
for another
John.
few nights.
I have to stay there.
Oh,
If it
mic
was your
down.
last day there, maybe, but
Nah. But yes, I'm very excited to talk to you all about my show yesterday, where there were about 13, I'm pretty sure, swingers, because none of them were married. They all had a certain vibe. And at one point I asked them, how do you guys all know each other? And one person just went, we party. And I went, all right, that all means something different for everyone. I then did that thing of, and this is a good psychology move, of saying something embarrassing and private about myself to mean party. And then I did that. Everyone laughed, and then they just wouldn't answer the question. And then I concluded it by just going, all right, I'll see you later. And also, the fucking swingers need to stop being so concerned about what people think of themselves. Like, it's fine. You admitted it. And then I just walked off stage, but I was like, just say it.
Right? I was going to bring that up too.
What, Keemers B? I am fond of a Viennese finger for dunking. I don't get it.
That is an intensely sexual sentence.
such a good sentence.
Is that about swinging or biscuits?
Biscuits. Yeah.
I don't think so. I think Kimmers and Kirsten
Wait.
party. You know what I'm saying?
Do you not know what a Viennese finger is?
No, I'm cool.
It's the old Viennese finger, buddy.
I'm looking
It's
it
a
up.
classic.
Viennese finger is two kind of almost like shortbread biscuits with a layer of kind of chocolate in the middle.
Oh, that is not. You have described. This is not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing it's shortbread sandwiched that dipped down chocolate at either end and then cream in the middle. You'd be a real danger on the Great British Bake Off.
There's not cream in a Viennese finger.
I'm looking at a Viennese finger and it's cream filled.
It's about to be.
Yeah.
Due to the dunking.
I'm looking at another one. I'm looking at a Viennese whirl, also cream filled. They're all cream filled. Whoever's been making you Viennese fingers has fucked you.
Aw.
Cream filled. That one's chocolate filled, cream filled, cream filled, cream filled, cream filled. Here's what I have to
Ashley-
say. Who's in? Go ahead, Chris.
Ashley, did you grow up with chocolate eclairs?
Yeah, they're my dad's favorite.
They were my dad's favorite, and it might be the most overrated baked good.
I don't understand why
In
my
the
dad
whole
loves them
world.
so much, but he
Flavorless.
does. He loves them
Flavorless.
so much.
What is a chocolate eclair
Do
compared
you know what
to
I
a
think it
regular
is?
a regular eclair?
It's got chocolate on top.
It's
Like how a chocolate donut, like a normal donut, will have like a little hard chocolate, like glazing on top almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that, but it's an eclair with whipped cream down the middle.
Yeah, that's an eclair. So it's just an eclair.
Oh, it was a chocolate eclair where I grew up, but taste of nothing.
Yeah, that's an eclair is fine. It's not good
it's
though.
fine. Yeah.
It's not good.
Do you know what I think it is? Do you know what I think it is? Is that like my dad will always go on about how much he loved cream or milk or butter, that kind of thing.
Okay.
They were really luxury items when he was growing up. And so like the cream on a cake was like something that was so luscious and luxurious that I feel like it's just that kind of association that lingers on from that time.
Yeah, I could see that.
I
When
want
he
you all
was
to
a
know I had
kid.
a very I had a very painful booger, and I just needed to do something to get into this, and I just ripped it out of my nose while you guys were talking about baked goods, and I truly feel like a champion of the world. I also have a point about what you're going to say, which is I totally relate to your dad, because I grew up thinking that steak is like a rare, once in a while thing, and now because everything has gotten like just cheaper, steak isn't. People are eating steak every day, and it's still. I'm like, that's not an everyday. That's a once or twice a year. Treat.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas like you can get like a steak sandwich anywhere. You can get a steak sandwich in
steak
Pret.
though.
No, but I don't think the steak that I was eating when I was a kid was good either.
Paying at least 25 quid for a steak meal.
Yeah, if you're going to like a steak is one of those things where just go to a good restaurant. Like as someone who has recently been to both Taylor's Steakhouse and Musso and Frank's and had steaks there. That's right. I got my 2 steak allotment done early in this year.
Ooh.
Superb, but expensive. But it's like, where is this from? And it's like the closest farm with the best cows. You're like, fair.
Yeah, it was the same with Hawksmoor. Like it was just, we got this. It's all grass fed. They live on acres and acres and acres. They live the best life cows have ever had. And then we ship them 50 miles and they're here. And it's like, perfect. That's great.
Well, yeah, they live their best life right before they're brutally murdered, of course. Right before they're
Hey, when it comes to
I got to
food
sneak up on them though.
Go ahead.
When
Ashley.
it comes to food and especially meat, I always think like, why do people think it's okay to go cheap? Like, why is it that sometimes you can get a whole chicken for less than a cup of coffee? That is not a chicken I want to eat.
I will go this even. But you've hit the nail on the head. It's chicken in particular. No one thinks about. Everyone just sort of like chicken costs whatever, and I'm like, it does not. Like you need to know where
get good chicken.
Like, I'll even go you one better. Eggs. No one thinks about how you should spend money on eggs because also like the yolk color should be like I'm a weirdo. I fucking love eggs. I love them scrambled, boiled. Those are the only ways I like them.
Okay, I thought you were gonna go full Bubba from Forrest Gump on eggs on us.
No, those are the only 2 ways. Man, that's it, man. It's my favorite food. I like it every way.
You not like a poached egg?
Of course, I love a poached egg. Who doesn't love a poached egg? It was
well, you just said they're the only 2 ways I like them. So,
madam, I was yanking your crank.
He's a crank yanker.
Yeah, I'm a crank yanker. You've just been pranked. Anyway,
I went food shopping
I love them,
today. Oh, sorry.
Oh, did you buy eggs?
I didn't buy eggs. Do you know what I did buy?
A giant bar.
If you get the biscuits, I swear to God.
Yeah, if you just show us your bit.
Oh,
tiny pumpkins.
All right, hang on. I just need to do something before Chris ruins our Halloween fun. All right, those are great little pumpkins. Those are great little pumpkins.
Pumpkins.
No. Oh no, hang on. I have to do it over here. No, there we go.
They're munchkin pumpkins.
Oh, it's so good. Also, I don't like Chris's not being here. I'm gonna add him. I like removing you, but I want you to come immediately back. I don't like you not being here.
Aw. Love you too, buddy. Those are nice little pumpkins. They're very cool.
So cute.
Right now.
Are they alive or are they ornamental?
They're alive. They're real pumpkins.
Are you gonna carve them?
They're really tiny, so no.
I really like this emote.
But they're gonna sit. Oh, that's very cute. They are going to sit with my candle display for the month. But they're these tiny ones. They get them into the shops now, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
Like you really have to get them when you see them. But they're so cute.
Ashley can do a Halloween themed thirst trap now.
Oh, are those gonna go on your boobies?
Oh my god!
Yeah, are they gonna be
do that?
Tiny little pumpkin boobies? There you go.
I mean, my boobs are smaller than these, so.
Ashley, what's the worst thirst trap or sexy photo you've ever received from a gentleman?
I've never really received that many. But I've only gotten one dick pic.
Really? I've gotten more dick pics than you?
Yeah.
Bappo
I've only gotten one like in a kind of somebody I was talking to way. I've been sent a few anonymous ones from like through Instagram and stuff, but Instagram has a pretty fun filter technique, so I've never actually clicked on it to see it. It like blurs anything out unless you go into it.
Oh, good.
It is,
way to go.
In one of my many moments of going, what do you mean this is happening? I had no idea the amount of just female people on the internet were just getting sent pictures of random men's penises.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this right now. Name a technology that a man hasn't used to try and show a woman his penis or fuck them.
Most
Name
technology has been invented because of men trying to do things like that.
Yeah. The internet is only the internet because of porn.
Because of
I'm going to give you this.
Yeah.
The microwave is the only thing that has nothing to do with fucking. There's
absolutely incorrect. Guys wanted to cook their food real quick so that they could get to fucking.
Yeah, 100% correct. All right.
You can relate every great invention to men trying to fuck someone.
Condoms. Yep, because they don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
And because they want women who, will only fuck them with condoms to fuck them. That's a big.
Yeah, but they had to invent condoms first. It's not like the women.
Did they? I feel like women were like, "Stop putting babies in me," and someone was like, "I'm just gonna gut this sheep right now. I'm gonna go outside."
I
guarantee you it wasn't that way.
Guarantee you it was actually because there was probably some sort of law change that meant men had to take more responsibility if they got somebody pregnant.
Ashley's 100% correct. That's
And
exactly
it's a money thing. I guarantee you it's a money thing.
Oh yeah. It's like how marriage is a money thing. And Catholic priests not being allowed to get married is a money thing.
Yeah.
Well, because if they get divorced, those women get half of God's shit.
No, it's so that the Catholic Church's finance base originally was all the land that priests they leave it to the church.
It's like McDonald's.
Yeah, that's why Henry VIII, one of the reasons Henry VIII separated from the Catholic Church is he was like, fuck you, you're not getting our land, you're not seizing our land slowly and taking over this country, and end-runded them. And then,
that
had a
was one of the reasons that, so initially when Christianity came into Ireland, the way that the laws were set up, a lot of women actually saw it as a really feminist move to join the church and become a nun. Because it meant that their land could be given to, like, they could keep their family land with the church instead of having to marry one of their cousins.
That's very progressive of the church.
Yeah.
The other one is, and I have a friend who has I have a friend who comes from like a giant Irish family in Canada, as in Irish Catholic, he has 7 siblings. And then his dad and mom both have 11 and 15. And so there's a bunch of nuns in his family. And it's that thing of did you ever ask them why they became nuns? And he was like, yeah, because they're old enough that they were just single women who wanted to see the world. And the time in which they lived, the only way to do that was to be a nun and go on missionary trips. Because it's not like in the...
And also the church taught you, going back a bit further than that probably, but the church taught you to read and write. So it was a way of getting education. It was independence, because you could live in church property by yourself without having to live with family men or whatever.
It's the same for Buddhist monks in Thailand. A lot of the monks that I met were, a lot of the kids are put into it because they get free school, and so it's not about becoming a monk; it's about being able to learn. But also, there's a lot of gay monks because they're just life out there is rough, and so I can just have a nice life here. In the same way that a lot of gay dudes go into the priesthood because it's like, oh, I'm not allowed to sleep with women. Shucks, you know?
Yeah.
What was it? Yeah, there's been a bunch of studies conducted that the Catholic Church suppresses of the amount of homosexual priests that are within it.
It's got to be huge. It's got to be fucking huge because it's like, oh, why didn't you get married? Oh, God told me I can't. That's all. That's the reason.
There was definitely a move for a time of forcibly making someone become a nun. Was there also a time where you could forcibly make someone become a priest?
In rich British families, it went, the eldest son took over the family. The next one went into the military. The third one was a priest.
Yeah.
Is that how it went?
Yeah.
Oh,
there was definitely a lot of stuff like that.
Wow. My family is somewhat reciprocating that. My family's business is a joke. My brother wants to be a cop and in the army. So if dad does the bad thing and has a third child, which by the way, I would laugh.
Oh, how hard! If funny would it be if we could get a picture of Stephen Hastings holding a new baby? So funny.
I would never stop laughing at him. I would literally be like, you never get to ever say to anyone else on the planet, you know what you should do? Because you just had 3 children over the course of 36 years. If he does that, oh my God, it's going to be the best thing ever.
Never stop laughing. Apparently, sorry, wrong one. According to Tiger, in Ireland, it went doctor, teacher, priest.
Yeah. It depends. It depends what the kind of background is, though, because if they had farming land or anything, then the first sons would have to be farmers. And yeah, it depends. But there was definitely always an order. There was definitely always a progression. But priest was pretty much always in them somewhere.
Yeah, because it's a respectable job, and also you can get rid of him, so you're definitely not. You don't have to pay for his wedding. You don't have to bail him out if his life doesn't.
You don't have
work
to
out.
pay a dowry for them to get married.
You don't have to worry about him in the will because the church has got him, and so that just goes there. Like it's just unloading. Get the.
It's
fuck
also
out of here.
huge, and not so much anymore. Well, that's not true in a lot of places. A huge power base. I'm currently listening to that great podcast, the Christian Right Cast, and something that they really talk about in terms of Catholic influence in America is that the amount of Catholics in America is actually predominantly very small, but the Catholic Church knows where to attack for power historically. Like they're just really good at they will be somewhere in an old power base, and they're like, New England is literally littered with Catholics. That's where a lot of Ivy League schools are. They will be on the board. They have a power base. They are working in the institutions that create the presidents of the United States. So it's that thing of it's a very insidious, interesting situation that we're at because we're only 100 and something years into atheism. Like before that, the idea of saying I do not believe in God did not exist at all. It wasn't a thing, and we're still at a reckoning with it in the way now that I think that we'll be seeing a huge pushback against capitalism in 100 years. Because right now people are for the first time in the West, I hear so many people openly being like, we got to do something about this. Fuck Jeff Bezos.
Well, it was the first. I remember when the first time I ever heard people that didn't read the same pamphlets that I read as a young man openly talking about capitalism was during the Occupy Wall Street movement. And remember, at the beginning, it was sort of hippies and drum circles, and then sort of parents started showing up.
Yeah,
and he was like, "This is fascinating because it's it didn't go anywhere. Obviously, it was a wasted opportunity. But it was the first time that I was like." You are middle class, have 2 kids, and are being market-based economy has basically failed us. It's that has never happened in my lifetime.
I don't think that that's true. I think Occupy did a shitload. It taught a lot of people that they had power in the discussion in the United States political system. What happened is people in power got to work to go, what did Occupy Wall Street do? And it's Occupy Wall Street taught a huge portion of the millennial generation, fuck the banks, no one's taking care of you. Look out for yourself. This is an unfair system. Yeet the rich.
Yeah, I like that.
I will also say this: the problem with Occupy Wall Street is it's spread across the world, and there are a shitload of exactly right, Boom Stickery. Coming from Boom Stickery, shit libs always co-opt grassroots movements. The other problem is that it got co-opted around the world, and it was such a uniquely American problem. It didn't exist in Canada. So there being an Occupy movement in Canada to go against the banks being bailed out didn't make any sense because the banks weren't being bailed out. We could have had a protest to say Canadian banks shouldn't be allowed to buy American banks and then be subject to American regulation and not Canadian regulation, because that basically means that this little bank in Canada that now is this big bank in America, if this big bank fails because it's under American regulation, it's taking this little bank with it, which isn't fair. Boom. Now let's talk about penises or something, because we literally just talked about finance for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think that here's what I'm saying.
I think I'm sure I absorbed it all, but
I could tell because actually for about a minute, here's what you were doing. And I couldn't tell if you had frozen or something was happening in the chat, but you were just doing this.
I think that was my concentration face. I was trying to keep up with all the very intelligent things you were saying.
Thank you. Listen, I can be very dumb, but there's one area cucked by the economy 24/7. Oh my
Yeah.
God, Blaze at 420.
Well, because I
Blaze it
I try and keep up
420.
with the economy stuff, but I do find it very confusing, and I often have to get my dad to translate everything for me. But
Would you like a podcast that someone recommended to me that really helped explain a lot of this stuff? Because it's 15 minutes long.
okay,
It's like 3 times a week, and it's interesting subjects. They then relate to economics, so you get an understanding of what economics are. Because you're like, I love parrots, and then they're like, the economics of parrot smuggling, and you're like, what the fuck is that? And then you listen to it, and you're like, oh,
that is
so
fun.
that-
What's that podcast called?
It's called The Indicator. It's of course brought to you by NPR. NPR. Smug.
Also, Planet Money did a great thing over the summer, which they called Summer School, where they were just like, what is capitalism? And
Is
they
that-
just had economists come on and be like, this is the basics of how it works.
I think
This
Planet
is the
Money
same
might
thing.
be
It's
the-
called The Indicator from Planet Money, is it?
Oh,
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're both. Yeah. They're The Indicator. It's very good. It's very good stuff. The one problem is you got to listen to a bunch of episodes to get your intelligence base going, because if not, you'll get into an argument with your mom about capitalism using a point from that, and then realize, oh no, you don't actually understand the entire point. You just understand it as it applies
Right.
to one thing.
Yeah.
And that's always trouble when you're arguing with someone who literally has a PhD. That always will get you.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I haven't prepared. God damn it.
This is the ADSR thug said the key thing to remember about economics is that they're all made up. And that's my
Yeah.
favorite thing when I was, because I studied economics at university, and
Nerd.
all of my teachers were so funny because they were just like, guys, heads up, people are going to try to tell you it's a science. It's not a science.
Not a
It's
science.
very much an idea. It's very much people
philosophy.
trying to codify philosophy. That's
Yeah.
all we're doing. We're just putting numbers on philosophies. So don't buy it.
Yeah, it's in the same way. If you'll notice, all the people that are really into Bitcoin always talk about it like it's a very specific, exact science, and you're like, no, it's not. It's an anonymous Japanese guy has pulled a prank on the world economically, and we have
So
fallen
wild.
for it.
I can't believe no one knows who that guy is. That's incredible to me. Did you know that, Ashley? No one knows
Yeah,
who started Bitcoin?
Do you know how
Really?
Bitcoin started?
No one
you know how it
knows.
started.
John,
It's
you'll
all-
know it in better detail than me.
So basically, as I understand it, this guy invented it, posted on the internet, and people just started buying into it. Because the thing with economics, it's cash freedom, and it is something that the world has needed, which is another type of guaranteed, somewhat inflation-free currency. I might be
Right.
wrong on this, but I think that I'm getting this right. So that's why Bitcoin is appealing in some ways. And it's also stuff you can use that's not regulated by the government. It's untraceable. We employ and need them
That's
to balance our own-
fascinating.
Yeah.
For podcast listeners, we have a comment from the chat. We employ economists in video games as we need them to balance our own in-game economies. That's amazing.
Part of the appeal of Bitcoin was it was a non-state actor, so it's perfect capitalism.
That's
so
the
it's
thing is
just the market.
Yeah, it's just the market.
How much people think it's worth. That's what it's
Mhm.
worth. Whatever they're
Yeah.
willing to buy it for, that's its value.
And it's supposedly not controlled by governments. It's now being adopted and being manipulated in the same way as all of these are. Because essentially,
Well,
it's just
Ecuador
another
made it.
It's
Ecuador made it its actual currency, and then China outlawed it this week. Said no cryptocurrencies at
Ecuador
all.
made it its actual currency.
Dual currency. But
Yeah.
the reason why, so the thing that there's the real positive of Bitcoin is all of those South American countries that have been their currencies have been inflated. Also, I'm not looking at the chat. Please tell me if the chat thinks this is boring. I'm fascinated by this stuff, but I understand not everyone is. South American economies have been crazy inflated for a variety of reasons, such as the CIA and various corporate entities going in and fucking them up.
Can I say
And
one quick
Bitcoin
thing in the middle
Go
of
ahead.
this? Just in terms of them, like the inflation thing. Someone put out, I'm going to stop thinking of them as underdeveloped countries, and I'm going to start thinking of them as overexploited countries.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's beautiful.
Yeah, this is exactly true, ADSR Thug, is that like currencies are literally just, we have faith in them. And you see it, how it changes how you have a relationship to money. The currency of where I live is American dollars. So I value that money intellectually more than I would value Canadian money. and you see it how people act where they've been told their money is less valuable than the currency of the country they're in. The best example of this is up until Brexit, every fucking English person going to every country acted like every money was 3 million foreign currencies to the pound, and so would spend like fucking crazy. That's a psychological thing. This money isn't as valuable as my money, so it's not money. That's never true. That's why, by the way, fun fact, every comedian comes back from Australia with way less money because they're all like, it's not nearly close to the pound. And I'm always like, that was 20 years ago. It's almost on par.
No.
Stop buying boots. Okay, let me ask you this question. All right. How do I say this? Okay. Which job do you want less? Stock broker or bank teller?
Bank teller.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Customer service. Fuck it. Can't do it anymore.
Yeah, me too. Because at least stockbroker, you can choose. You can have like, I'm going to do an ethical portfolio, and I can actually guide people to invest in cool new companies. Whereas bank teller, you're just there.
You would eventually.
And then you get promoted, and then you run the bank, and then you're just a crone.
But bank teller, I'm telling you, as a bank teller, all you're dealing with, especially now with so much online currency, all you're dealing with is old people who can't use online banking. That's all you're doing as a bank teller.
Yeah, and me. Yeah, that's right. I always go in. I always go in. It has saved me so much. There was a bank machine at the corner.
Okay, but people who are less adept than you even are.
I mean, but here's
you guys would be a breath of fresh air for some bank tellers.
Bank tellers love the shit out of me, by the way. Yeah, exactly. But also, I've been there for some amazing bank teller fuck ups. For example, when I was moving to England, my mom was trying to put it so that we would have a account that they're like, if worse comes to worse, it was basically that thing of like, I get stabbed in the neck and don't have British health insurance, and she like, here's 50 pounds so you can get to the hospital in a cab, emergency sort of like,
right.
So there's no delay, which the bank we had like has. You can do that. You can link two accounts of the same thing. Yeah. And the bank teller fucked it up so much. He just put all of my mom's money in my account.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
I remember, and when we found out, I went, I think you just closed her account and put all the money in my account. And he went, no, I don't think so. And I went, really? And then I just turned my phone around and I was like, where'd that come from? And he was like, what are you talking about? And it was like, it turned out it was like, so, like he bypassed a bunch of things that involve like, you're not legally allowed to do that because the bank account is my mom's property.
Yeah.
Shit.
So like, it was a whole thing where like the bank manager like suddenly was in the office and was like, we will undo this all right now. Like, and he's like, I am so sorry. All of this sort of stuff. Because part of it is also Bank of Montreal, my bank in Canada, wants me to stop having my account because my account has existed since I was, question time.
Raid.
Hang on. I'm getting it.
Okay.
Let's all dance right.
Welcome.
Oh no, the Canadians are coming.
I hit the wrong one.
What? Being trying to raid. Welcome to the Untitled stream with John, Chris, and Ashley. Stick around and give us a follow. You are awesome.
Embarrassed. I'm very embarrassed. I feel
so
very
funny.
That's so funny. He pressed
Didn't
the
even
wrong
dance
video.
for the first half. Just kept laughing.
Yeah.
Welcome, Raiders. Please feel free to refresh the page, and then you'll count as viewers. We'd appreciate that. But otherwise, thanks for coming through. How the hell, Smashly? By the way, excellent raid message.
Smashly Bangings, welcome aboard. I know you guys. I know you're all thinking after you just did D&D for a bunch of times. You're thinking, what are the fun people at the UTS talking about? We're talking about economics, and I was about to talk about how I've had a bank account since before I was born, which means it has no fees. No holds.
I have too.
Unlimited. It's the best. Never get rid of it.
No, it got closed.
Okay, I don't know what the law in Canada is. The greatest glorious day of my life was the
Mhm.
day they sent me a message that said, you have to close your account. And I just happened to Google it as I was walking into the bank and found an article about how all the banks in Canada were trying to close old accounts and they're not legally allowed to do it. And I walked in, sat down with the bank manager, and he's like, so we have to close your account and move it over. And I went, do you? And just said, and I started reading from the article, and he went, all right, get out of here. And I was like, yeah.
That's
Even
fun.
better thing, the next year I got a note saying that I'm going to start being charged for paper statements.
Mhm.
And I did the thing, Google it again, not legally allowed to do it. You have to volunteer that. I walked in and went, you're not legally allowed to do that. And they went, yeah, you're right. Okay, totally. They get it every time. And I'm like, it's so good.
Jesus
I love it.
Christ.
I live for it.
I mean,
My
that's great.
goal is-
Isn't it upsetting though that something that big and supposedly supposed to be the most responsible institution in our society is like, we're just going to break the law and hope you don't know? How about that? How about that if we'll just break the law?
They're not
and you have to
technically
know?
breaking the law. Like it's that thing of like you read the letter. The letter was actually like, hey, can you come in here and do that? But it's written in a way where it seems like we got to do this right now. It's such a good
Yeah.
show.
Paul, how you doing?
Told. Sorry.
No. I just want to shout out to Paul.
Hi, Paul. I was told that my Irish bank account was going to start charging me because I'd had this bank account since I was a child, and then I was a student account, and now it's like a full adult account. You pay some charges on it, but I've still in about 5 years since that happened, I have not been charged. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna say nothing. But yeah, because Irish banking has changed a little bit recently. So if you transfer money, I think it's actually because of Brexit. So if you transfer money into British pounds, you get charged like 15 quid for it.
Oof.
So I now have an account set up. I have an online account, so I can charge. Technically it's a British based account, but I have a euros holding account in it.
Bless you.
Excuse me. So I have a euro account within the online account, and so I can transfer money because it's going to a euros account. I can transfer money from my Irish account for free without being charged.
Yeah.
And then change it into pounds without being charged. It's a Revolut. It is a Revolut card, Stephen.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a Revolut.
Actually,
account.
because you brought up Ireland, can we talk about what Celts is? Because we didn't get a chance yesterday. What is that?
Celtic Films.
Let me
bring
up
it up, baby.
Let
Bring
me
it up.
bring
It
up something.
is. That was great.
So fucking fun, and I've not been blocked yet, which is
I don't even know what's
fun.
going on. I don't know what it is. All I saw is that you were going full Ashley Justice Warrior Manning, and I just went, well, there's content for the program we do every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was about to read about it. I was like, no, get the story
Yeah.
from your friend. Find out.
Okay, let me see. I just need to make sure I find the right thing.
Welcome to the Untitled Chapter.
So basically, there's
Oh
this
yeah,
American
you got two late
guy.
birthday wishes. One was from Tim Reedy, and one is from Beardy Noise.
Oh, thank
And
you so
also-
much, Beardy Noise and Tim. Thank you so much. Also, Tim, I did see your message about misspelling my name. It's fine. Most Irish people do call me Aisling, but everybody
Chris
outside of
misspelled-
Ireland knows my name. Which is
Mary
Ouch.
Elaine misspelled it yesterday. Mary Elaine
Yeah.
misspelled it yesterday.
yeah, but that's Mary Elaine.
Ashley.
But
lot
she got the
Ash-
name right fundamentally.
True.
She just spelled it wrong. But Aisling is another name.
It's a ludicrous
okay.
name. And yes, I am friends-ish with. I guess I'm still friends with Aisling B. I haven't seen her in 7 years, but I assume we're still on a level of immediately go over and say hello. Like it wouldn't. I wouldn't doubt going over and saying hello.
She's a very wonderful person, so I wouldn't doubt that at all.
Yeah.
So-
I don't know. Go ahead, Ashley.
Basically, what Celtic Films is this American guy has basically set up a Kickstarter to fund him making a series about the Celtics. He doesn't call them the Celts, he calls them the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
And it's smoke and mirrors for his very right-wing agenda. He keeps talking about how he keeps talking about Queen Maeve and how people have proved that if you read the text, she was actually just forced into a marriage and raped. And it's just like, okay, but she's a fictional character, man. Calm down. But he's taking it really seriously.
Oh my God, he's been blown up because I was on his Twitter page yesterday, and now it has a caution: this profile may include potentially sensitive content. You're seeing this one? Yeah, that's crazy.
So he's tweeted so much bullshit, and like I literally have a degree in Celtic civilizations, so I'm just like, this is so funny.
I'm trying to find the tweet.
So, like, even in the darkest hour, the light can come shining through, for that is what we are here for, to believe we can overcome. So his big thing is censorship, banning, silencing human rights and freedom, for we've done it before. Celtics overcoming globalist Roman Empire. Yeah, he keeps calling it the globalist Roman Empire. And he has this... The film is meant to be this battle between the Celtics and the globalist Roman Empire. Which I'm like, calm down. There was no huge battle between the Celts and the Romans in the way that he's trying to portray it. Like, that just didn't happen.
Also, isn't globalist always a dog whistle for Jewish people?
Yes,
it
is.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of anti-Jewish sentiment.
This is the writer-director, and I immediately am like, this guy's got weird shit in his basement. Like, this guy's got a Nazi plate for sure.
He looks just like the head of Cobra Kai.
I have a video to show you, which is from... There's an Irish Twitter guy who actually comes onto George Fox's stream sometimes, called Dermot Ward, and he put together this clip of... He got the trailer from the Celtic Films Kickstarter and cut it down and like pointed out all the things that are so funny about it. So I figured that's better to watch than just the trailer, because he actually highlights everything that's so silly. So this is it. We're gonna just take a moment.
Coming in from Boomstickery, by the way, he says that guy looks a lot like that guy looks like he's related to Hastings.
Oh my God, he does.
He does. They all. I could be in this movie, no problem.
You absolutely could. Also, but just okay, I'm not going to say anymore. I'm just going to play.
Go ahead.
Hi.
Can you hear
it? Mccool.
Yeah.
This is Mccool. I'm Michael Kingsbury. I am the writer-director of the independent series Celtics. The reason I'm making this series about...
You know what? I'm just going to pause it straight away.
It's Celts, right? I'm losing my mind. It's Celts.
It's the Celts, but he keeps saying the Celtics, right? So, yeah, exactly, Tiger. I'm going to go back to that bit at the very beginning, right?
Hi, is Mccool. Is Mccool.
So he's saying is Mccool, right? He's attempting to speak Irish, which is he's trying to say welcome in. He's trying to say is Misha Mihal, but he's saying it wrong. He's just saying is Mish Mihal. Is what he's saying.
Chris Ashley, did you hear my joke though?
What?
Thank you for following Ed Fortune. Welcome to the Troggies.
There's a cream for that if you have some Ishmael in your hole.
Oh, his ishy hole. He's got an ishy hole.
Oh,
he certainly
dear.
does, Chris.
I don't know what he's thinking of. Some people are asking if it's the Celtic.
Thank you for following the Orphe.
Or is it football or soccer? I'm not
basketball.
Sure.
The Celtics, they call them.
Oh, Boston Celtics.
Boston Celtics.
And then there's Celtic in Scotland. There's Celtic, the football club.
Yeah.
Larry
Bird.
I actually don't think it's anything to do with that.
With this fuck, Larry Bird is a good man. He's an good boy, and he would not allow his door to be darkened by this toque wearing fuck. Also,
yeah,
I've said it before. I'll say it again. If your toque matches your gilet, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Those are not supposed to be fashion items. Those are supposed to be worn for protection from the elements.
It's so poor. He's got all these all of these like symbols up along the side of this and everything. They're all Ogham symbols and Celtic knots and stuff, but it's just appropriation, to be quite honest.
Certainly is. I have a couple of quick things in the chat coming also in from Boomstickery. He looks like if John became a crab fisherman and instead of a comic. 100% true, and it hurts so bad.
This guy's deal is he's using Celtic culture as a right-wing agenda.
You know what I wonder it is? Because they've been using Norse culture for a long time, And I
Yeah.
wonder if because Scandinavia is being tied to socialism, if they're trying to find another out.
Maybe. Well, the
and
Irish
if
are
that's gonna
not
be the
having
Celts.
it.
Chris, I think you're 100% right. Also coming in from Beardy Noise, if you're wearing a gilet, you need to fuck off. If IMO, yeah, maybe I like it though. I run hot, and it's nice sometimes. For a nice
Yeah,
walk,
I have
you're
a
gonna get
gilet,
sweaty.
and it's bright pink.
Oh, I want a bright pink. You know what I want is I want one of those gilets that had the Western cut on the sides here. Do you know what I'm talking about? You know how Western cut shirts have the triangle on the shoulders? I really like those. Maybe I'll wear one tonight.
That's a good point, Hammy. The Celtics is trademarkable.
Yeah, that
Because
makes
it's
sense.
not a legitimate term.
That makes sense. Although the Boston Celtics must have that. Like he's going to be in for a major.
I bet you what they but
major
their
IP problem.
copyright is stipulated as it is. It has to be
Yeah.
like it can't be around basketball, and it's the Boston Celtics.
I'd be
You know what I
surprised
mean?
if they didn't own it outright around. They've been around forever. They're one of like the original
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah.
It might.
We'll
it
see.
might
I
have
hope
a
they get
grey
sued.
area.
That'd be very fun.
Anyway, let's watch the rest.
Kingsbury.
How
I'm the
right
writer
wing
director
is
of the
he?
independent
That's my
series
favorite
Celtics.
joke.
The reason I'm making this series about the Celtics, this independent series, is that my ancestors come from County Sligo.
Let's hear that again.
County Sligo. County Sligo. And we have already filmed some amazing scenes with the most talented actors. You'll be blown away by their performances here.
Will I?
Censorship of the totalitarian Roman Empire is already coming upon us.
Muzzled.
Jesus Christ.
Voiceless.
You'll
This
be
guy's
blown
really good.
away.
These gifts
Can you pause for a second?
are not ours. We
Do
do
you
not.
guys remember? Do you guys remember that anti-Islam movie that a guy made?
Oh, what is it called?
This is that basically just awful stuff. But instead of being anti something, it's pretending to be for something just as ignorantly.
Yeah.
I love
It's so bad. And the accents are just ridiculous.
Do you think
Not
that's the
make
only
our
background
gifts.
in the movie?
Yeah.
Why are they all fucking blue?
Part of Stonehenge.
gifts.
Famously Irish Stonehenge.
The reason that they have blue painted on them is because that was something that the Celts used to do going into battle.
I don't think this woman stood by Stonehenge is going into battle for the Celts because she would have had to cross the ocean and hang out in southern England, you fucking idiot.
I think her name is Aaron Wen, which is not a great name. I'm it could be a real name of a character from something, but she's meant to be in Wales, so Stonehenge is not inappropriate.
How deep into the plot of this have you gotten?
I haven't. I just studied Celtic literature, so.
Oh, so like this is a person. Wait, is this person based on someone who is historical accurate?
Yeah,
or like
so
a
all
legend?
of them are. I think all of them are based on real characters. So if I just briefly go back to where the other people were,
Okay,
Brigid.
so who's Brigid?
Saint Brigid is basically she's one of the major canon saints in Ireland. So we have Saint Brigid's Day is the 1st of February, where you make little grass crosses every year. Oh God!
I don't think this pagan went in for that sort of Christian iconography. Also, I'm going to say this right now: there is no way that Brigid and Erewhon didn't have to at some point think, "No, I'm not going to just have dinner with Michael."
Yeah, definitely. I feel bad for the actors that have somehow been roped into this. He must have paid them, but they are also doing something really stupid.
You took the gig. They took the gig.
You took the gig.
I have some terrible stuff
Brigid,
that I've done in acting,
then
you. Oh my God.
Belinus, I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel like he's picked out random characters as well. I've never heard of Belinus, but that doesn't mean he doesn't exist.
Based on Belinus as acting, I think he's picked out random actors as well.
Oh yeah. I'd say he's well. It looks like he's tried to get as many kind of blonde hair, blue eyes, or red hair as he could.
I'm really enjoying Hammy's notes.
So
she's lit from the left. Stonehenge is lit from the right. This is
I know.
basic filmmaking.
What
guys.
a good! I would never have noticed that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right,
Hammy, you're gonna bring out all of the really niche points that we'll miss as well, which is great fun.
I'm going with this. Now I'm saying.
Okay.
Of the totalitarian Roman Empire is
Totalitarian.
already
Like
coming
what?
upon us.
Muzzled. Voiceless.
It feels like an 8-year-old trying to look tough on TikTok.
Or not ours.
Pause it for 1 second. I just want to clarify something. Totalitarian would mean total is. What is the actual definition of totalitarian?
It's basically like somebody who's going for a dictatorship, total power.
Yeah.
Hitler
Like a king
was
or a-
totalitarian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emperors are totalitarian. All that
Yeah.
stuff.
Did when was the Roman Empire fighting with the Celts?
It's sort like there's no one specific time. That's why I was kind of like, there's no big epic battle between the Celts and the Romans like he's trying to make out, because the Celts and the Romans had tension when the Celts were based in Europe. You know, the Celts and the Romans clashed in kind of in Spain and Portugal, in Gaul. The Gaulish Celts out of France were a big enemy of the Roman Empire. But then
Asterix.
when the Romans came up into Britain as well, they would have been against the Celtic tribes of Britain. So there's the Celts and the Romans clashed kind of over very long periods of time. There's no huge battle like he's trying to make it out to be.
Yeah, it wasn't fucking
it's just-
Braveheart.
Yeah, it's so stupid. So stupid. Anyway, this bit's really funny.
We do not make our gifts. Our gifts travel through us.
That was the
Censor
best
and
take.
control our speech from one
We did
authoritarian
50
point.
takes. And that was the best one.
No more will we be a free people. We're called Romano Britons.
Oh God.
That was your best take?
What is
You'll
she?
be blown away.
I know that many times in the past, I have fought the other Celtic.
That's meant to be Fionn Mccool, for fuck's sake.
Who's Fionn Mccool? This guy
Fionn
is.
McCool
This guy sells
is
cars.
Fionn Mccool,
This guy's a youth pastor. Oh,
basically
Ashley's throat.
Fionn Mccool licked his thumb after his thumb had touched the Salmon of Knowledge. So Fionn Mccool is meant to have other world knowledge. This guy doesn't even have this world knowledge.
What is
Calm the
the-
fuck down.
I don't want to insult the culture and history of your homeland, but what is the Salmon of Knowledge?
So there's a story.
I'm loving this. The salmon of what? Did you say salmon of knowledge?
Yeah, thank God. I'm really happy that everyone is right on my same page with this.
Right,
You
let me
can't
give
drop-
you the legend of the Salmon of Knowledge, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, Fionn Mccool, it's in the childhood deeds of Fionn Mccool. This story comes up, which is that Fionn Mccool is sent away to learn from this Grandmaster guy for his training as a Finn warrior.
Say
And
Finn
so-
or thin?
Finn, Finn. As a Finn warrior, he's sent away to train with this older, wiser man or whatever. But this man is trying to gain Imbos Ferocity, which is the other world knowledge. Imbos Ferocity can be attained by eating the animal which eats the acorn. The acorn contains otherworld knowledge. It's a lot to keep up with, but you can't
wow.
eat the acorns directly. You can only eat the animal that eats the acorn. So salmon that are in a river where an oak tree has acorns falling in, salmon will eat the acorns. I don't know if that's scientifically accurate, but that's what happens in the stories. Also, swineherds in early Irish literature are very, very. They will always have otherworldly knowledge because they eat pigs that eat acorns. So, acorns are magical.
I don't want to be rude, but sometimes I wonder how Ireland fell for the Catholic Church for so long and hard. And then I hear things like, then the acorns fell in the river and the salmon ate them. And then I go, I know how it happened.
But that's also like, I mean, that really reminds me of that story of Odin hanging from Yggdrasil for 7 days to learn otherworldly magic. It's like, it's not that far off. It's all.
Yeah.
Yeah. The oak tree is synonymous around the world with being like knowledgeable, otherworldly knowledge. A lot of universities will use oak or acorn symbolism because you're learning, and that's a whole thing.
There's huge acorn statues in the Vatican. Yeah, because it's a symbol of that business.
But yeah, so Finn, whichever his name is, you can go by either of them. Finn Mccool, he is doing training with this guy, and this guy is trying to catch the Salmon of Knowledge, but he needs to be the one to eat it in order to gain. And it's only one person can get it. So they spend ages trying to catch salmon. They catch the salmon, and then they're cooking the salmon. And the master, the old wise master guy, just goes, I'm going to just go and do something. You watch the salmon, but don't eat it. And he was meant to keep turning it as well so that it cooked properly. As he's turning it, he touches the salmon and burns his finger by accident. And he puts it in his mouth. And that's enough for him to have tasted and eaten the salmon. And he gets the otherworld knowledge totally by accident. But it's done, and it's throughout all of the literature of Finn Mccool, he has this magic thumb. And every time he kisses it or licks it or puts it in his mouth, he can access this otherworldly knowledge. That's who Finn Mccool is.
He sucks his thumb and gets...
Yeah.
Is that because he gets real sleepy and he puts his thumb in his mouth and he goes to Dreamy Town?
I like how
sleepy time.
I like how otherworldly and also so regular Irish myth and history is. Like you read about, like, Hercules is fighting like a mortal bunch of cows that he has to move the shit of. And in Ireland, it's like a guy was making dinner for his boss, and then he accidentally ate the dinner first.
I was asked this on Twitter yesterday because of all this Celtic film stuff. Somebody asked me who I think the coolest characters in Celtic literature are. And one of the ones that I said is one of the ones that I think is so overlooked is Finn's woman, basically. She becomes his partner.
Michelle McCool, the wife of the Undertaker?
Her name is Elva. And she is the only woman one of very few women across Celtic literature who is renowned for her intellect over her beauty. She's one of the only women that is portrayed as a man's intellectual equal. And so that Finn has to win her over with intellect rather than anything else. And it's so cool. And she's seen as being really ugly because she has freckles.
I was going to ask if she was hot.
I was
guarantee.
I was literally waiting for an opportunity to go, intellect is code for woof woof, no thank you, right?
Yeah.
But she had freckles. That was considered ugly at the time.
Disgusting.
I know.
Then and now, Ms. Manning. Then and now.
Other women are still very impressive. She's just the only one that is matched up with a man at any point in terms of intellect. So she's very cool, but yeah, so that's basically a rundown of Finn Mccool and the Salmon of Knowledge. I've bastardized it a lot, but that's the gist.
I guarantee that's already more than was in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
A couple of great things that have come in from the chat, coming in from W. Davis. So like Irish squirrels are basically Doctor Who or whatever.
That explains that Rick and Morty episode. Have you seen that one where squirrels run the world? Don't piss off the squirrels, Morty.
Yeah. Michelle McCool. Oh, very good. Yes. Yeah, she's vegan.
Thank you for the follow.
Thank you for
Martian Mister.
Thank you for the follow.
Welcome to the turkeys.
I am going to go have a hard piss.
Oh, wow. That was abrupt.
That was very abrupt.
That's so cool. I like that, because in Canada, all of our, if we're going to use myths, they're all appropriated First Nations myths, because we don't have our own, because we've only been here for 200 years, 300 years, 400.
Yeah.
And so we just steal all their stories, and then or if we're racist, we go Norse. That always an option. So I'm sort of jealous
Sorry,
of.
I think I just knocked my mic.
Sorry, you breathed real heavy into it. Someone's listening to the podcast being like,
it.
finally ASMR. That's what I tuned in for. But yeah, I'm jealous of that kind of stuff. Like myths are such a fantastic way of tying a culture together. Like I remember hearing about this island where you're not allowed to. No one tells a whole story. So if you want to know an entire story, you have to go all around the town, like you're in a fucking video game full of NPCs.
That's pretty cool.
Each one will tell you a piece of the story, because if you tell an entire story right to the end, then your life is done. That's all. Once you've finished the story,
that's pretty cool.
then you've finished your story, and so
Where in the
you can't
world
do
is this
that.
Island?
I'll have to double check. I can't remember, but I want to say it's a Pacific island. It's like a tropical Pacific island.
When you start getting into kind of any literature, any ancient literature, it's so interesting and so fascinating, because what you realize if you're studying it is that before any of it was written down, this was a huge oral tradition. And so there's things that come up in stories where you're like, where it doesn't really make that much sense, and literary historians will kind of have to just say, this must be relating to a whole canon of information that people would have already just known about this character.
Yeah.
Like this is just somebody that people knew so many stories about, and therefore this piece of information makes sense in the context of this story, of this character's legend.
Well, that's like Moby Dick is so biblical that reading it now, it barely makes sense compared to the stuff that people would have immediately recognized as biblical references and what that would have said about the character and things like that. It's just a whole other world of influences.
It's an interesting, and strap in for a really pretentious comment. I really like that you just held a book that I just saw, the early Finn McCool. No way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So if
are we sure that doesn't say
does,
cycle? Does that say Finn cycle?
The early Finn cycle.
Who's Finn cycle? Is that Finn McCool's
book? The Finn cycle is the literature that surrounds the legend of Finn McCool.
That sounds like a Robert Service poem.
And the
legend of Finn McCool.
The Feniact is the name for the Fenian or Finn cycle. If anybody did want to look into more, this book is a very, very good book for the Feniact.
I just found out where a slur came from.
Oh.
I've heard people in Scotland in particular, like someone shouted, "You're a Fenian," and now is that the word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely changed meaning now because it's become kind of modern, politically charged.
Catholic Protestant thing now, isn't it?
Yeah. But it's which is not really where the Fenian cycle that this is referring to is from. Really, it's just it's morphed a lot. It's a completely different thing now. But this is a very good book. It's The Early Finn Cycle by Kevin Murray. Kevin Murray was one of my lecturers in UCC. He was a fucking boy. Like, he was so fun. Such an interesting person. But it's one of the smaller books to get as well. So it's not too heavy, but it's really, really fascinating. And it's one of my favorite books. And I have mine signed.
Hey, nerd alert.
From my lecturer, and it's in Irish, with great respect and something. I don't know.
Who's he, Uncle Ben?
No, but it's one of those things that sounds weird in English, but that would be a very commonplace thing to say in Irish.
I gotcha. I'm always fascinated with American myth because America is such a new country. You can see like it's been proactively put into the ecosystem. For example, like all of the myths of cowboys a lot of those were real guys, and they were guerrilla soldiers for the Confederate Army. Like that's why the like Wild West and all of that of like train robberies, and it was like those guys were stealing money so they could fund guerrilla operations to attack the United States. Like it's such a weird like whitewashing of that, ironically, all of those sort of things. And like American sport myth, like how athletes are treated Europe versus America, because America has none of these myths. Like there isn't St. George, there isn't Finn McCool, there is Untitled TS. It's equal parts disgusting and wholesome. Yeah, that's right.
That's all this show is.
Yeah. You will always learn something on this program, and you will never think that's what you were going to learn.
Yeah.
And there are other parts that you will never forget, like what the inside of Mary Elaine's nostril looks like.
Oh,
You'll never forget that.
Weird
It's
thing.
just right there.
It's so funny.
You know what's weird to me about American myths, and it's so telling about their culture in general, is that all their myths are about themselves. That's so funny. There's no sense of mystical anything. There's no creation anything. There's no attachment to the world. It's just me. I fucking did it.
I'll even to go you one further. I bet you, because they've mythologized all of their founding fathers, I guarantee they've never considered that most of those guys were, at the very least, considered themselves English. So a lot of them consider themselves English people because some of them were like not born there.
It's like it's like people that don't realize Jesus was a Jew. And you go, listen, just because he's like the start of it doesn't mean he was it, you know?
I referred to him recently as someone said, yeah, then they put a Jewish guy on the cross. And he's like, well, at that point, I think it was on this stream. Well, at that point, he was Christian. I'm like, no, he didn't. No, you can't. No, he's still Jewish.
Well, yeah, but also, so I think it was me that made that point, sort of mostly joking. But there is something to be said for him being like, I'm the son of God. Follow me. That doesn't feel like a very Jewish thing to do. That feels like very much a meism. We've begun meism. Let's go.
I can think of some Jews that would definitely do that. One of them is a comedian. Chris even knows who I'm talking about, and I bet Ashley does too.
Maybe
this guy right here.
Oh, private chat.
100%. 100%.
Oh, I don't know that person. Every time you bring up this person, you think I know them, and I don't.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. No
I
question.
mean, this guy also, actually, no, I'm going to go against Chris's point. No, I think a lot of them would go, no, we should be in charge. Particularly young, incredibly entitled men from the East Coast of the United States. Both of these, there's another guy. That guy also would definitely think he should be in charge. He would think.
I don't know that one.
That one's for Ashley. Ashley's about to agree with me so hard.
Oh, do you know? I stopped following that person on Instagram today. I've only followed them for like 2 weeks.
Good for you. That guy
something
sucks.
came up that I was just like, oh, I fucking hate you. I hate you so much. And, you know, he was fucking... when I first initially met him, I thought he was semi-attractive.
I knew you.
But then he went on stage.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh... I don't think so. And then I had to watch that same act 4 times over 2 nights.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
you do.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it was and then the post that came up today was and I just went, nope, don't need this. Do not need this.
What was the post?
I put it in the private chat. It was so, I was just like, I do not, this is no. And so I completely unfollowed him everywhere.
That individual gets his dick out a lot on stage, and I'll never forget my ex-wife being at side of stage at Late and Live looking at me and going, he knows that if you stretch out a little penis, it doesn't make it bigger. It just makes us all know you have a little dick. And I was just like,
no. But I'm very often attracted to total idiots, so that's fine.
Yeah. I think you were about to say I'm usually attracted to small penises.
Yes, that's what I was expecting as well. Tiny dick dudes. Tiny dick dudes. Speaking of tiny dick dudes, just a quick. This is what I look like without a beard.
No.
Those are stills from videos. There you go, Nuka Boy. You can have it.
I just want to say this is such an inside truth. Diamond Geyser, no, it is not Alex Edelman, because as everyone knows, Alex Edelman is bringing a hammer. That is some fun inside British comedy gossip. When Alex Edelman takes it out, this is the noise it makes.
Ashley, was someone at your door?
It's Alex Edelman's penis.
Right. I'm going to bring back the video. We're going to get to the end of this video.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Fucking Finn Mccool. He's
More like fucking thin hair, my poo.
Yeah. Finn Mccool was meant to have big flowy locks. He was meant to have big flowy locks.
For podcast
Also,
listeners, you couldn't see John pose with his thumbs up after saying that utter dog shit.
It's really good though. Are you laughing now? Ashley's laughing. Chris is laughing. The chat uncomfortable. So he has long flowing locks. Also, I don't think they had green screens or hair gel in ancient Celtic times.
what's the hair gel about? And like, this is tartan. He's modeled this off Braveheart.
Yeah, that tartan looks like it was slung over. By the way, they're all wearing that same piece of cloth.
Also,
and it looks like they just took it off his couch.
Some dodgy staining.
That's
it looks
it.
like
He
a bird
fucked on that
shit
couch
him.
the night
looks
before,
like a
and then
bird
took the
shit on
couch
him.
covering off.
Have fought the other Celtic tribes.
Blown away. So no matter what funding we get,
Pause.
we can make this first
Playing Finn Mccool?
No.
No, it's a different guy.
I bet you it's his brother. Go ahead.
episode happen. This will be a legendary episode that we will be filming. Any level of backing that you choose, the rewards are outstanding. We have a Celtic Druid Wizard's hat, a Druid walking staff. We have a Druid hood. And many other
we need those.
DVD, Blu-ray, box feature set. So join us if you can. Come aboard and let's make this Celtic film series happen.
Film series? So it's a universe?
It's a film series. He's trying to set up a whole fucking Marvel universe.
Oh my god.
Where
It's
is this?
so daft.
Celtic Films. Where is this like being GoFund? Where's the GoFundMe?
I don't know. The Twitter is at Celtic_films.
I'm looking at it right now. Where's the GoFundMe?
It's so batshit crazy. And like, where is there was one tweet that Mary Lane shared, and I was just like, I don't even know where to start telling this off. Like, it's so stupid.
Oh, and which reminds me, if you like Celtic myths, go check out Mary Lane's stream because she tells a lot of folk tales.
Yes, actually, that's a good plug. Mary Elaine, who was on the birthday show last night, Mary Elaine Robertson tells stories from all over the world, but she does tell a lot of Shetland and Celtic, Scottish kind of stories. But she tells lots of different stories, and she's definitely worth checking out. So she shared one of his a picture of one of his tweets, which said, "In our Celtic series, the Druid women."
Yes. This is the one. That's the one I was looking for. This is my favorite.
Are dressed very respectfully. They don't need to show boobs, titties, cleavage to get attention. We show their brains and courage. In fact, they are fully clothed as Druid goddess women are. #respect women. I feel so respected.
You should.
Titties.
Like, this guy, I mean, I can share this actually.
People that do real research don't say titties. I know a lot of
Exactly.
academics, thanks to my wife. That's not a word that they use. They're not.
Yeah,
They're not titty people.
They say
It's
fun
so
bags,
Stupid.
big
So that's-
milkers,
That's what he
Sandy
said.
sacks.
Sandy
And-
sacks, of course, Chris.
I think this was something else that he'd said as well. According to Cassius Dio, who was writing a long time after the fact, so presumably got his information from more contemporaneous sources, Julia Augusta, wife of Emperor Augustus, was shocked by the loose morals of Celtic women. On complaining to one such, the consort of a Gaulish king, The woman is said to have replied, "We Celtic women obey the demands of nature in a more moral way than do the women of Rome. We consort openly with the best of men. You allow yourselves to be debauched in secret by the vilest." And I don't know where he's getting that from. I really don't.
I'm reading this book about Easter Island right now, and I'm enjoying the theme of like wherever sort of like Central Europeans end up, they're always shocked at how horny women are everywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
Because like French and British people showed up at Easter Island and they were like, these guys are pretty nice. These women are fucking. These women are not shy. They are very forward.
Theme around the world.
And the guys are all just like, yeah, for sure, no problem.
Yeah.
There's no like fights. It's not like these guys are fighting Frenchmen over their ladies.
The thing is, there's a very good chance that it is based on real translations from Roman sources, but they used to write and say so much bullshit about the Celts to basically villainize them. It was propaganda, yeah.
They always needed an enemy for their citizenry to explain why the wars must continue and all that sort of stuff. It's so fascinating. Also, imagine the irony too of the Celts somewhat repelled the Roman Empire from their shores, only to be later subjected to the Roman Catholic Church, the next evolution of said Roman Empire. Not just laugh here on the Untitled Twitch stream, also fun philosophical points. Chris, are you shitting? All right, I have one last point, and then I think we're going to call it a day because we did a
long show yesterday.
We did
90 minutes of streaming before this.
Yeah. Thank you again to our subs and patrons for playing Among Us. If you want to be a part of that gang, join our Patreon.
Join our Patreon. We will be doing
episodes and games.
When are we doing the next one? At some point in...
We're going to have a meeting this week, and we're going to talk about it. We don't know yet.
Great. Perfect. I was just afraid because I'm super tired that we had decided that, and I didn't remember, and I went into this plug without remembering it. And it was that sort. I felt. Know what I felt like? I felt like that actor playing Finn Mccool.
It's so silly, that whole thing. I love the script checks.
I liked how I love, and while it was happening, Boom Stickery commented, "Oh, I could be an actor."
Oh yeah.
Those people definitely got paid for it as well, you know.
Oh no!
Beardy Noise could have been there. Oh, they absolutely. Oh, well, they made a. As someone who was an out-of-work actor, much like being a comedian, you'll just take a gig. Like, there's very possible those people just took that gig and are now like,
they're not actors; they're family friends. They're family friends.
Like there's some of them want to be actors, but are not actors.
Yeah, they've always considered it. What is The Forest, Boom Stickery? What is that? Is that a cool game that we should be playing?
Yeah, what is The Forest? Can we look that up?
Yeah, we don't know what that is, but we'll consider it if it's cool.
Is it spooky?
John's dad has just chimed in with,
father,
John, can you not afford sleeves?
No, I cannot. Also, my father was
Steven.
making fun of my scar. I will have you banned from Facebook for being ableist. Father, how dare you?
Do you like to dress to show off your scar then?
No, I was just working out and didn't have time to change before we did.
I don't mean right now, but generally, do you enjoy having it?
I don't really think about it. I get annoyed with my elbows because more and more people touch my elbows because they look weird.
Oh, that's weird. What
it's
is this thing that people think they can just touch other people's bodies? No.
It drives me insane. It's also strangers will walk up and be like, "What happened to your elbow?" And I'm like, "What?" Like I was one time like super late at night. I was at a gas station filling up my mom's car, and a guy tapped me on the shoulder and went, What's wrong with your elbow? Were you born that way?" And I literally wanted to be like, "Yeah, what? I was." Do you say that to blind people? Like, what are you doing?
Was that in the States though? That feels very American.
Canada.
Oh shit.
No.
That's outrageous.
100% a Canadian move. Canada is a nation of ninny busybodies. Like
yeah, that's true.
Like, oh my god, because their entire existence is looking over the border to America, going, "Look at them."
That's insane. I got very into neck scarves for the first couple of years after my surgery.
You just don't want to explain it all the time. That's the
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really didn't.
Mm.
And I did scare a child with my scar once. And so I was just
And then just put
I
it away.
didn't like they just saw it and started crying.
Oh no.
And I was just like, right, okay. This was very early doors though. It was very red. It was very kind of swollen and bad looking. So I get it. And like if I was a child looking at it, I probably would have had the same reaction because I was a scaredy cat child.
At any point, did you consider yelling out, "I'm a monster"?
Yeah.
And running down.
Did you go with mice and men, take that kid to the river, try and make it feel better, but accidentally wring its neck?
I didn't do that.
Oh.
I need it to be known that I didn't. But yeah, like I don't know. I kept it quite hidden. I don't forcibly try and hide it now. Like I kind of just wear what I want. But I used to wear high neck things. If I was wearing low neck things, I would dress it with a scarf. Or I had some necklaces that covered it and stuff as well. But I don't try and hide it now. I just wear what I'm gonna wear. But it's also not that noticeable anymore.
I've never seen it, so it's not showing up on stream.
Yeah,
so
I have no
that's
idea.
something. But
I've seen you. I've slept in your house. I've slept in the room where Mary Elaine kept almost shitting, but it was just farts. So
no, you didn't sleep in that
love
room.
that you thought they were having an
Mary
orgy
Elaine
when that
slept
happened.
in my bedroom.
Sorry, I slept in the flat where that bedroom was contained. I absolutely
Hey, Mary
I love that
it's
you thought
not-
that was during an orgy. She just left a fart. That's so
I was
funny.
so impressed. I was so impressed by it because I was just imagining like having shit and having to shit is such a nightmare as a boy. I could
Yeah.
never imagine as you're going to Pound Town, just having the weight of another human when you're full of cack. Oh,
Well,
no, thank you.
I told you about that time in Montreal where I just had to call it off, right?
Yeah, to poop so badly. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I had to poop. She was fully naked, and I just started laughing. And she's like, "Heads up, girls, when they're naked in front of you, don't generally like it when you start laughing." And I was like, "Nothing to do with you. I'm just laughing because I know what's about to happen."
Oh no.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite moment in life, which is where you know what the future is, and you're like, "Listen, you're not gonna like where this is going, but there is only one place it can go."
Yeah,
Oh god.
we're on the tracks now. Here we go. Yeah.
Oh.
When I came out of that bathroom, guess who was fully dressed?
Of course. I also get very upset at people when they. How about this? How do you guys feel about someone taking a shit at the bathroom in the house you live in?
Don't mind.
I don't
Totally
mind
understand.
as long as you don't leave like
Don't leave a mess.
Don't
Of
leave a
course,
mess.
you don't leave a mess.
But otherwise
I-
it's like you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not gonna be mad at you for that.
I truly think that any person who will exactly any person is like, don't shit in my bathroom, you're an anti-vaxxer. That's the same logic that makes you
Yeah.
arrive at anti-vaxxing.
Yeah, it's
is you're
super
just
weird.
like, yeah, look, you can't do
Unless,
that. It's like, I
like,
must.
Unless it's like somebody who has shit in your bathroom before and either left a mess or broke your toilet. Like
Yeah, it's more you can't shit in my bathroom.
yeah, that's like a
You in
specific
particular.
I,
May not.
Fair.
But yeah, toilet with holders, yes.
Yeah, it's an absolute
Um,
crime.
That's a terrible thing to do. So George Fox has in his stream a running joke that I broke my toilet. I did not. I had somebody
happened?
coming around to look at my water boiler and he misunderstood. He thought I was talking about a plumber. Anyway, but I did go in there yesterday. I was trying to plead my case that didn't happen, but then I did say, "Oh, but I did break a toilet once."
All right, tell us the story, and then
we'll go. Yeah,
I'm gonna go lie down.
It's not that much of a story. I did a very big poo in a toilet in New York City where they have ridiculously small toilets. I should say I was only like 11 years old at the time.
Fantastic.
Did it raise you up off the seat just a little? Just like just an
It
inch?
must have. I don't know, but I couldn't fix it myself. I was only 11. I didn't know how to fix a toilet,
course not.
and so I had to come downstairs, and we were staying with friends of my parents, and I just said to my dad, I was just like, Dad, I can't get the toilet to flush. And then it was my dad's best friend we were staying with, the same man who asked me if I was a virgin when I last saw him.
Oh, the fun guy.
The fun guy, yeah.
Yeah.
He just the whole rest of the holiday was taking the piss out of me for breaking the toilet.
Yeah. I bet he did it with a lot of tact.
No, very blunt force.
Yeah. Yeah. He asked you if you were a virgin. He's not a subtle man.
You should have upper deckered this guy. You should have been like, oh, you thought your toilet was broken
I was
before?
11.
Yeah, do it now. Vengeance.
This guy's still alive? Still got a
Yes.
toilet?
Still
Upper
got a
decker.
toilet.
Upper decker, baby. It's never too late for an upper
That
decker.
piece of shit. Let me tell you this. I don't think I've ever broken a toilet, but I've clogged some toilets in my day. And when the first week COVID started, I was just coming off of in COVID, I just ended up eating a shitload of protein at the beginning of 3 weeks where I just ate meat and nothing else.
Yep.
And
that's going to do a number on your digestive system.
I took a shit and it was like this big and like that. And it was a cork. And it literally dropped into the toilet and I heard like a bang noise. I dropped a bunch of wood in there. And then just all this other shit came out. Like it was literally like I didn't realize
Just wrenches and fucking leaves and
Did you get those kind of muscle pains all up your back afterwards?
Yeah, as soon as it dropped, and then it I felt so much pain, but it was literally around my kidneys and back, and it literally was just sort of to the point that I had to then clench, flush, go back for more. Not diarrhea, all solid. I was just worried that it was going to be too much for the toilet to handle.
That's happened.
Oh,
that has happened. I've done that. I broke that toilet in New York because there was too much shit in the toilet.
I'm a big fan of the fact that we started out talking about economics, but we made it to how big our shits were. I'm a big fan of that. Have you ever I remember I took one that was so.
And we also took a detour into Celtic history there.
Yeah, we've been everywhere. I remember I took this one shit just for symmetry. I've got to tell one before we go. This one, it was so perfect. It just kept going. And when when you've been going for a long time and you feel like you're going to clench it off and you're like, no, I owe it to myself to finish this. And I just pushed all the way and it coiled perfectly. And when I stood up, I didn't want to flush it. I wanted to leave it for others to behold. It was perfect. And then I flushed and it was too big and the toilet flushed. I was like,
of course.
What have I done? But it was like a perfect Cumberland sausage before they do the little twists.
Oh God.
Truly spectacular.
One of you got a little bit ahead of the game.
That was John.
John.
Cumberland sausage can fuck off. That image. Ashley, who would you? It's your birthday week, so I say you pick who we're gonna raid.
I don't know who we should.
I got it open. We've got paleontologizing, ruffled bricks, Sean Morley. My gun is huge.
I would like ruffled bricks or my gun is huge. Actually, when you go into my gun is huge,
go ahead with ruffled bricks. I really had no. I have no allegiances to anybody that you just named. So.
Let's do ruffled bricks. I like
ruffled bricks. All right, cool. I'm setting it up.
And raid message is
it's Celts.
I totally
it's
did
Celts,
that.
not
John
Celtics.
Ashley pick then.
You did do that, but it's okay.
Well,
I'm kind of glad you did.
It's where I watched all of one of Ruffled Bricks' streams one time, and I really enjoyed it, and I forgot he existed until right now, and I was like, oh yeah, that guy's great.
Cool. Okay, let's do that. We're going over to Ruffled Bricks. We John and Chris will be back tomorrow night. I will not be here tomorrow night. My daddy is coming to visit me, so I'm going out to pick him up from the airport.
Very nice.
What are dad activities? Great thing that we ended talking about shit, because no newsflash, your dad's coming in, he's stinking that toilet up. That's a father move.
I just stopped the raid.
So my dad's arriving in. He's arriving in late tomorrow night, and then we have breakfast Friday morning. We are going out for dinner on Friday evening. I do have a lecture at some point, so the afternoon plan is a little bit vague. We're just going to see what happens. And then tomorrow evening, we're going to see the new James Bond film, which is it's a perfect going out with your dad thing to do.
Only person I've ever watched a James Bond movie with.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then we're out for breakfast Saturday morning. We are going to go up around Glasgow University, and I'm gonna show him Glasgow Uni. And we are going to the Clydeside Distillery, where we're going to get a whiskey and chocolate tasting experience.
Nice.
And Clydeside Distillery is a brand new distillery, so we are going to be trying their first whiskey ever, which is very cool.
Nice.
As well as some other whiskeys and a new batch spirit or something like that. And then we are going out for dinner again. And that's kind of it. I've left a lot of time for just wandering and catching up. But I haven't seen my dad since Christmas, so.
Oh,
nice. That'll be good.
Well,
Can we get him on the stream? How long is he in town for?
No, that's not.
Can we get him on Sunday? Can he
No, he's
come
leaving
on?
Sunday morning.
My dad was on here shirtless.
Yeah,
It's
but he
not
looked
happening.
good.
He's leaving Sunday morning, so we'll miss him.
Praise be.
Ashley, jealous?
Oh, Kirsten, that's cool. Oh, I
Okay,
did discover I can
now
order
I'm
them
starting
from
to rave.
Amazon, so I need to do that.
And the
Okay,
raid
go
message-
for the raid.
Raid message, by the way,
Great message.
is-
Celts, not Celtics.
It's Celts, not Celtics. Guys, Chris and I will see you tomorrow. I love you all, and hit it now. Bye.
Bye.
That's all. Penis into her vagina. And that's all. That's all. And that's called sexual intercourse. Some people call it having sex. So the man passes the sperm to the woman, and now his sperm is in her.